Join us on News at 7 p.m. to discuss more on this is TVC News sports correspondent Brenda Shima, who was on ground when the announcement was made. Brenda, good evening. It's good to have you on News at 7.
Good evening, Samson. Yeah. Good evening, Samson.
Run us through what the atmosphere was when the announcement was made or the confirmation was made by Ibrahim Gusau himself, because the media had been rife with speculations about the impending resignation.
Well, I would say the atmosphere, in my own words and my own observation, was calm. A lot of people kind of expected this to happen, and because, like you rightly pointed out, there's been talks in the media for weeks regarding possible resignation or possible sack, some were even saying. So the announcement being made today by, or the confirmation being made today by Gusau himself brought a lot of calm and a lot of, quiet in the media space. More like, okay, we expected this to happen and it has happened finally. But the first thing that I picked from some of the media, the mood among some media personnel, the journalists there, was the fact that most of them felt pity for him. I mean, having to be living at this point where football seems to be one of the talk of the town, foot sports in the world now, and then being the first to even resign from the NFF president's seat. It's quite, and then not just that, the fact that he actually had a lot of things going on for him and for the federation, and then making all of that known today was a shocker for most people. Even some of the FA chairman confirmed that they were just hearing some of those achievements from Gusau today. So, I mean, it was just mixed feelings all put together. But, I mean, it has happened. It has happened. I mean, we just have to wait and see what happens next from now.
Okay, before I get your thoughts on other, issues, let me bring in a legal associate of the Nigerian Football Federation talking about Mujindu Francis. Good evening. It's good to have you on News at 7. Francis, can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us on News at 7.
I wasn't hearing you so well.
Okay.
Hello,
good evening. Am I audible enough?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Let's talk about, the legal implications, because that's your field, as it were. This is unprecedented, and more importantly, we had Gusau talk about, advising some of the board members to also follow his path in terms of resigning from their various positions. And he said earlier in the day that he couldn't confirm the number of those who have, tendered their resignations. What's the legal implication to all of these issues, as well as the resignation? And if there are any refusals in terms of, executive members refusing to tender their resignation, would there be any legal implication?
Okay, no, so I don't think by law there's any force that should make any member tender their resignation. There is no law that says they must be forced to tender their resignation. However, because there's an elective Congress that was supposed to come up, which was supposed to usher in a new change of leadership. So if any member refused to tender their resignation, then regardless, they would have had to go to the elective Congress to be able to see out their thing. Because generally, even globally, FIFA also frowns about forceful measures used in removal of, elective offices. So there would have been no legal implications if they refused to resign from their seat. But however, they just chose to do that in the best interest of everybody, to make sure that they don't leave any dirty messes behind or issues that could further complicate the growing tensions already. But from a legal perspective, there was not going to be any sanctions for them refusing to resign, because those were elective positions, and you cannot force an elective individual to resign. Like I said, because even the allegations that are going around are still subject to investigation, so they can also not be forced to send that resignation.
Okay, let me stay with you, Francis, before I bring in Brenda. Let me stay with you. We know quite well that there have been talks, in the media again about a possible normalization committee, as well as the possibility of a FIFA sanction. What does this portend for Nigerian football at this time, especially from the legal aspect of things?
Okay. So if there were to be a FIFA sanction from Nigeria, a FIFA sanction would warrant for Nigeria is that we would not be participating in major tournaments. If we were to receive a sanction, we would not be participating in tournaments, and some of the benefits that we are supposed to receive as member association are going to be withdrawn from us. That's what is going to happen if there was to be a FIFA sanction. To your other issue, definitely there has to be a normalization committee. So a normalization committee doesn't necessarily mean that they are ousting the power of an executive leadership. It's that basically to keep things running smoothly for the time being, pending when the emergency congress is going to be held and elective offices are going to be contested for, the affairs need to be managed, properly. So that's going to be the essence of the normalization committee.
Okay, Brenda, let me get your thoughts concerning other board members. As I said earlier, we heard Gusau say he couldn't confirm the number of those who had resigned. You were on ground earlier today when the announcement was made. Did you see any other, members of the Nigerian Football Federation on ground, especially concerning the executive committee?
Yeah, for board members, we obviously we saw the GS, Sanusi right there, and a few other members from the NFF. But like Gusau rightly pointed out, we're hoping we will ask him questions when he after his press release, but he didn't really say anything much about that. He actually just confirmed to us that yes, members did resign. Board members now did resign, but how many of them? Who are they? He didn't say. And that is what we are expecting to see, or perhaps looking forward to in the coming days, because we know definitely the names will be called, numbers will be mentioned, but who are they? For now, we do not know, but I can confirm to you that at least there's been speculations that also the General Secretary, that's Sanusi Mohammed, is also part of those who will be resigning from his position as the GS. Mind you, he's been there for 12 years now, since 2014, if I'm not mistaken, for 12 years, 2016, 12 years now, yes. So I think that is the only speculation I can say for now. Till that list or that number is confirmed, I can only tell you that some members have actually resigned alongside Gusau, but who are they, we do not know for now.
Okay, there are reports now that the former Deputy General Secretary, I'm talking about Emmanuel Ikpeme, is now the acting Secretary General of the Nigerian Football Federation, as the latest developments to this whole, saga that is unfolding, as it were. That those who are saying that he's still part of the, board that should go. What do you make of that development in terms of his appointment? Is set to resume tomorrow?
Well, you said the news just reaching us now. I think I have not really confirmed it, but I will definitely make some calls after this conversation. However, whoever comes on now would definitely be under a lot of scrutiny or a lot of, investigations precisely with what has happened. Is he clean? Is he also clean from taking over that position? That is what questions that will be asked. So who takes over as the GS now, we do not know, like I said earlier, but I'm sure that GS has resigned, and I'll find out definitely and then get more details as regards to who is in charge precisely.
Okay, Brenda Shima, TVC News sports correspondent, thank you very much for your time on News at 7. Francis, before I let you go, quickly, what does this now mean for the elective Congress, which was scheduled for about 3 weeks from now, following the resignation of, the president of the Nigerian Football Federation and some board members? When should the next elective Congress hold? And how do you think that ensures that there is a proper reform for, the Nigerian Football Federation?
So I didn't get the last part of your question. Sorry, can you come again?
I said I talked about the Nigerian Football Federation, the next elective Congress, when it holds. We do not know the date yet. How does this address the reforms needed for Nigerian Football Federation, considering the elective Congress was initially scheduled for just 3 weeks away?
I don't think it would in any way affect the reform schedule. I mean, we've gotten the first the first step in trying to cleanse our football system, which is resignation. So I don't think there's cause for alarm for Nigerians. Yes, there are doubts as to, when the election Congress is going to hold. But as it stands, and when the normalization committee is instituted and things take over, definitely the reforms are going to start getting discussed. It's still early days, so I don't think anything is going to get affected for now. The main concern on ground now is to make sure that the operations of the NFF still keeps running smoothly for the time being. I mean, there's a tournament coming up next month in Poland, and the girls are already in Poland. They've traveled down already. So, we have to, just get by the next couple of days and weeks, and then, slowly things will take shape.
Okay.
So there should be no cause for alarm.
That is the hopes of Nigerians, that things will take shape in the Nigerian Football Federation and also translate to excellent performances from our various national teams. Francis Mujundu, Legal Associate of the Nigerian Football Federation, thank you very much for your time on News at 7.